All the glory be to God. You know what? Our life, when we are truly converted, truly been transformed, and we are true believers, citizens of the kingdom of heaven down here on earth, our life's supposed to serve purpose. That's what it's all about, glorifying God. It don't belong to us anymore, but our life is to glorify God. When Jesus came, he glorified the Father. Now, that's our calling. That's our purpose in life, to glorify the Father. How does God look at us? He look at us as his sons and his daughters. And he has ordained us for a specific task, or he's anointed us. And that is to bring forth fruit. And we want to talk about bearing fruit. What if you had an apple tree and you paid a big price for that apple tree, but the apple never did produce any fruit? Jesus paid a price for us by sharing his blood. And he said, I have ordained you in John the 15th chapter to bring forth fruit. He said, you haven't chose me, but I chose you. And I ordained you that you should go forth and bring fruit, and that your fruit should remain. And whatsoever you ask of the Father in his name, he said, he'll give it to us. We're supposed to be fruit bearers, producing fruit. John 15 gospel, John said these words, abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except you abide in me. Jesus said these words, you cannot produce fruit without him unless we abide in him. In other words, we got to get in the word, and the word has to get in us. The word is like a seed. They did a study one time on an apple seed, and they turned up these machines or microscopic, whatever it was, and when they looked at it and they looked down in it, inside the seed was a grown, full-blown tree, and it had a bunch of apples on it. See, in order to produce fruit, we got to sow good seed. We got to sow into good ground. And Jesus said we can't do it without him. He is the vine and we are the branches. And without him, we cannot produce fruit. We can't do nothing. See, we got to be rooted and grounded in the word in order to produce fruit. They even known it in the Old Testament time when David wrote and said, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor sit in the seat of the scornful, don't stand in the way of the sinner. He said, but his delight is in the law, the word of God. And he said that word, he meditate on it day and night. And then he goes to make an example of us as trees planted by the rivers of water, that we produces fruit in its season, and our leaf will never fade away. To produce fruit, you got to be faithful. You got to be committed. And you got to be loyal. To produce fruit, you got to always remind yourself that I am a fruit bearer. And brothers and sisters, you could tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. I want to share with you what Jesus said one day when he was with his disciples. There were a tree, a fig tree, and there were no figs on that tree. And when Jesus wanted to eat figs from that tree and could not find fruit, he cursed that tree. You're either producing fruit or you're not. So I encourage you to get connected to the vine, because we're just the branches. Without Christ, we can do nothing. Greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. Brothers and sisters, you be encouraged. May God continue to bless you and sanctify you. That's always our prayer.